You have been quoted as saying that African Union is shambolic, is an idea that is not supposed to be there. The African Union we know, the other day we almost gave them our own Honorable Raila Odinga. But you usually say this is not an institution that should not exist in the first place. Why?
From the beginning, African Union is a misnomer. It's a monumental charade. It's a scam. It's useless.
The AU.
The African Union.
Whose headquarters is in Addis Ababa?
Addis Ababa. First of all, I do not understand its role. From the beginning, I don't want to hear about that thing. First thing, who are members
of the African Union?
Of the African Union. And is it a union? And what kind of union? First, the headquarters is in Addis Ababa.
Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
If I want to go to Addis Ababa, first of all, I must have a passport.
From Kenya now?
Yes. I must get a visa. If I fly to Mbole International Airport in Addis Ababa, I have to change my money into Ethiopian birr.
The currency.
Their currency. Then what kind of union is there? Then another question. The history of Africa, the decolonization history. It is written in black and white in our history books, which are even taught in schools, that Ghana is the first African country
to gain independence. Yeah, you know that.
In 1957.
Yeah.
Now, why is it so? And Liberia became independent in 1847. But they do not consider themselves as Africans.
Okay.
Because Liberia means the land of the liberated, the land of the free. It was founded for the slaves who had been released, emancipated from America. They were put there. So even if you look at their flag, it resembles that one of the United States.
The US.
So although they attend African Union meetings, they do not consider themselves to be African. Otherwise, why are they not listed as the first African country to be independent? 1847. Sudan became independent before Ghana.
Yeah.
It became independent in 1956. But Sudan, they refused to be called African. 1956. Because they became independent in 1956. By then it was Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. You understand?
Yeah.
Egypt became independent in 1922. But they do not consider themselves to be African. But they attend AU meetings. Yes.
And the countries you are talking about are very powerful countries.
They are very powerful countries. You see, Morocco, they always seek to be members of the European Union because they do not believe that they are African. I remember one time attending a conference in Cairo, and Hosni Mubarak, in his speech, and I think I have a copy somewhere in Arabic, he said, Egypt is prepared to work with Africa. Because many countries do not believe they're in Africa. So which is this African Union?
And these countries are members.
And that is why I always, from 1970s, I supported Kamusu Banda the then president of Malawi. Because by that time, it was the Organization of African Unity, OAU. Its objective was to fight apartheid in South Africa. Kamuzu Banda was asking them, why are you fighting apartheid in South Africa? And even boycotting goods from South Africa. And you are not fighting England, which had enslaved us. You are not fighting France, which had enslaved, discriminated against the black people, the African people in their colonies. Kenneth Kaunda, in what was called the frontline states to fight apartheid. So Kamuzu Banda was insulting Kaunda and Nyerere and the rest, telling them, you are talking against South Africa. And your stomachs are full of South African bacon, South African eggs, and such like. To show them how nonsensical they were, Kamuzu Banda appointed an ambassador to South Africa, a man called Joe Kachingwe, because he was pragmatic. And OAU was for decolonization. Who did they decolonize? Even our president, President Ruto, he is still wondering up to now, although he has not given us an answer. Why, if 54 heads of state, they go to Japan to pay homage to the Prime Minister, to go and beg, and go there and talk about the Silk Road and whatever? First of all, I want to tell African heads of state that they call Africa sleeping giant. I want to tell them now, loud and clear, that Africa is a dead giant. It is not a sleeping giant. It's dead. And it is because of their selfishness. You see, my dear friend, the leaders of Africa, they are so clueless. They are so useless. And I pity my friend, Professor Lumumba, PLO Lumumba. He's always telling them to unite. Unite, unite. But that message does not get through their thick craniums.
In fact, they are taking him
you see, look, for example, sometimes I feel like crying as a proud African. What is the population of India? It's about 1.3 billion people. They have got one high commissioner in London. And then in Africa, with almost the same population, they want to have 54 ambassadors. Just one. Have you ever watched a ceremony when a new Chinese ambassador is presenting his credentials, let's say in Seychelles, for example? The population of Seychelles currently is 100,000 people. 100,000 people. You see, there are two sets of letters of credentials. Now, the new Chinese ambassador will go with his personal aide to the palace or to State House, whatever. And then, what does he say? What does he tell the president of Seychelles? Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Seychelles, it is my honor and privilege to present to you, Your Excellency, the letters of recall of my predecessor. And then he hands over the letters. And then he picks another set. Your Excellency, and it is now my pleasure and privilege to present to Your Excellency the letters of credence by which the President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, appoints me as the next ambassador, extraordinary and plenipotentiary to your great country.
Great country.
Underline great country. Can you imagine an ambassador representing 1.4 billion people calling the president of a country, 100,000 people calling him great country?
That's an MCA.
And you see, that's an MCA. And then the president starts laughing and feeling good when you are being insulted. And China calling Botswana a great country.
That's an insult.
2 million people calling Namibia a great country. Don't you know that you are being mocked?
So is that an opium, a kind of an opium?
It's kind of an opium. Kind of an opium. You see, you are divided religion, then you are called Francophone. Yeah, we are still called our money shilling. It's better Nigeria, they call theirs Naira. Yeah. I like Botswana, they call themselves Pula, which means rain, because they value rain. How is it shilling? Rwanda, Burundi, Zaire, Congo, Brazzaville, Faranga, France. You see, Africa is a dead giant. And unless they wake up, it's not going to rise soon. Because they are divided.
But how can they wake up?
And you see, again, we are called Francophone.
Anglophone.
Yeah. They used to call it divide and rule. I don't call it that way.
Because the other day...
I don't call it divide and rule. I call it divide and eat. That's why they are being eaten.
It's a predatory
when they
relationship.
To quench the barrier, they are put in one bus like school kids.
Yeah, that happened. That happened recently. I remember.
Yeah.
Now, why I think you are right is because of this. Let me give you one case that happened there 2 months ago. I had a friend in Nigeria who was supposed to send me some money. And I was surprised because we tried to explore the means of sending money from Nigeria to Kenya. It was impossible. He had to...
it is an African Union.
Yes, he had to call a friend in United States to send that money to Kenya. It means it is easier to send money from US to Kenya than to send money from any African country within themselves. And when I try to check, even if you check MoneyGram, Western Union, and PayPal, you cannot send money from Nigeria to Kenya, from Ghana to Kenya, from those countries, unless now you transact now from the global north countries. Then I agree with what you are saying, because even trade within the countries itself is a dead end.
Yes, yeah, it's a sham. Yeah, so they are wasting themselves.
The same thing, it is easier to travel from Kenya to US than to travel from Kenya. Actually, even more expensive.
You see, I always give people a story. It's a true story.
Yeah.
In 1990, I went for a study tour of England and Wales. One of the people I was supposed to discuss issues with, among others, was the head of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in London. Yeah. His name was Stuart Innes. After drinking something, which was not water, at the Royal Horse Guards Hotel, I asked Stuart, why do you Western countries, superpowers, want to oppress Africa economically, politically? Why? He told me, point blank, that it is suicidal for a person to have mercy on food. The Africans are our food. Yeah. So we must treat you as such. That is why we discuss and create a trade policy where we dictate both ends of the economic stage. We tell you how much to buy our tractor and how much we are going to buy your coffee. So we dictate both ends. It means you should not fly beyond a certain height. We must control the height at which you fly because you are our food. Yes. We don't want you to die. We want to continue multiplying so that we have got a population to exploit. Have you ever known why our universities do not teach mineralogy?
Yeah.
Like where you come from, Bere.
Yeah.
You do not know the minerals you have. And even there, because the University of Nairobi, they are not taught what gold looks like, what silver looks like, what titanium looks like, what copper looks like. Because once you know that and its value, you become powerful. Around 1990, there was a president of Congo Brazzaville. His name was Pascal Lisuba. He came to see President Moi.
Yeah.
When he went back, he told the French, "You have been giving me 24% for our oil. The oil you extract from us, from our country. I now want you to give me 32%. The same day, he was overthrown. And France supported a former soldier called Denis Sassou Nguesso, General Sassou Nguesso.
To take over.
To take over. Yes, until now. You see, if you say Mwe, you are replaced or you are killed. And then you continue talking about Africa unity. What unity is there? Why were you uniting against South Africa?
And you cannot
unite against France.
United States against
United States. Britain. Yes. And then every country has got a small army with guns which are malfunctioning and aircraft, fighter jets which are leaking. And then you go and buy spare parts from the same people you are insulting.
And the armory also for your army.
Yes. You see, there's a book by a guy called Onyani. It's called Capitalist Nigger. Capitalist Nigger. It tells us an African. In the morning, remove all your clothes, your watches, your jewelry. Don't touch anything which is manufactured by former colonialists. Don't touch, or by a foreign country. Only touch anything which is manufactured by Africans.
By yours.
Yes. First of all, you not even touch your mobile phone.
You can't.
You not touch your car keys. You not even touch your lock, so you not open your door.
Yeah.
You are down to step on the tiles, although you have not manufactured.
Even the tiles are not manufactured.
Yes. Don't even wear your shoes.
You remove even the nails and the eyelashes.
Don't touch even your eyeglasses. Yeah. Then it means you not get out of the house. It means you are naked, useless, because you cannot unite. So nobody is going to tell me this crap about African Union. Useless, toothless. It has been emasculated. And the Western powers have created a system. I read a book by a woman called Susan George. It says from Washington, IMF, the Bretton Woods institutions, they even know, they can even create by remote control potholes in African roads. Because the people give us the money.
From the Wall Street banks?
Yes, they can know how many potholes they are going to create because we are beggars. Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time we went to Washington by Concord from Germany, from Bonn. Washington Post. Beggars arrived by Concord.
The headline?
Yes, Washington Post.
Beggars?
Yes.
So they have that courage even to call Africans beggars.
But you are.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell an African to wake up in the morning, never touch anything which is not
manufactured in Africa.
In Africa. You go back naked, and then you know that your continent is not a sleeping giant. It's a dead, rotten giant. Courtesy of stupid leadership of African leaders.
Wow, thank you.
Asante sana.